New York City, a city that's living on edge ever since the ICE raids have begun. So today we're gonna unpack it.
Trump's immigration crackdown.
I know there's a lot of good people too, and I feel bad for them, but but it's gotta be done. We gotta clean up. I got 2 daughters. I want my daughter to be safe when they grow up.
Hey guys, so we went to bodegas in Washington Heights. They then came over here to the Bronx. Less money coming in, employees not showing up are some of the things that we heard. But for others, President Trump's immigration crackdown means bringing law and order into a city that desperately needs it.
So what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about New York City, a city that is on edge ever since Donald Trump has got in office and started talking about the immigration raids that the federal authorities will use in other cities like New York around the country. Now, for those of you who don't know, New York City is a sanctuary city, which pretty much means that it has laws that protect them from federal authorities from conducting investigations, coming in and deporting a whole bunch of people or whatever, right? So essentially what that means is if you're seeking asylum or if you come to New York City, you are relatively safe from these sweeping investigations from ICE agents coming up to your job or your school or your home and trying to deport you. It's made with it in mind that these people left their country with a very, very, very tough go of it and wanted to come to New York City to chase their dream. Now, I'm not really exactly sure why New York City still is a sanctuary city because you have a lot of divided opinions on it. We had the migrant crisis or what have you. You had the caravans and all these people being bussed and shipped up to New York City in 2022 and 2023. And a lot of people were really complaining that these immigrants were soaking up a lot of the resources that are meant for U.S. citizens, but yet these people who just got here are getting hundreds and thousands of dollars to live without really contributing to society. So today we're going to talk about what does the community feel about this? What's the impact that it's had on local businesses and jobs and even children in schools?
The city school chancellor is urging immigrant families not to keep their kids home from school. It comes amid outrage and confusion over whether the city will allow ICE agents to enter schools, churches, and hospitals.
Now, first off, ICE, their role in all of this is essentially to round up the undocumented immigrants, make sure that everyone has their proper paperwork, and send everyone where they need to go respectively. Now, if there's mistakes, obviously they'll put them back to where they need to be. But if they need to be deported, then ICE will make the necessary arrangements to make sure that these people are sent back to their countries. And now you all know that New York City might be one of the biggest immigration populations in the United States. So if this is going to affect anybody, it's going to affect New York City residents and immigrants more than anywhere in the country. Now, I've watched news reports and I've seen local businesses. I've actually gone out and about and talked to people about this issue, and the results are actually kind of shocking.
What are you hearing from bodega owners and workers?
Yeah, they be afraid. They be calling me and asking, Frank, are they going to come to the store?
Francisco Marte is the president of the New York Bodegas Association.
Con temor.
Suslin Pichardo, who manages the Bronx Bodega, says fewer undocumented workers are showing up for their shifts.
La pandemia del 2025.
And significantly less foot traffic. She calls it the 2025 pandemic, but this time an immigration pandemic.
We are victims of those criminals.
Spokesman for United Bodegas of America, Fernando Mateo, says President Trump is making bodegas safer by doing what the criminal justice system has failed to do.
So as you can see, a lot of people do really support immigration, legal immigration, but they don't support illegal immigration. You have business owners who are blowing my mind. They're actually coming out here on being interviewed on TV by the local news and are literally admitting to hiring illegal immigrants. They're like, yeah, no one is coming to work and I'm getting really concerned. Huh? That was a little racist, but it's just like, yo, like you just admitted to hiring illegal immigrants like on TV. So, but at the same time, this has good and bad effects, right? So for the local community, the person who wants their first job or the person who just got out of college or someone who maybe wants to re-enter the workforce, maybe they're going to have an opportunity now because the jobs that were taken up by illegal immigrants are now available and the local business is going to start having to hire U.S. citizens. But on the flip side to that, the local business was saving a lot of money because they weren't paying the illegal immigrants a competitive wage. So now can they even afford to pay this competitive salary to a U.S. Documented person? That'll be really interesting to see how that plays out because I live in New York City and you go to these delis, you go to these bodegas and you go to a lot of these stores. A lot of these people do not speak English. Now, whether they are a citizen or not, I don't know, but I can promise you many of them are not. They're just not. So the Americans, can you afford to work that job for minimum wage? We'll see. You know, I have no dog in this fight. I'm African American. My family has been here for hundreds of years. So I don't necessarily really care about, not care, but I don't really have an opinion on this issue. I just wanted to say that. Talk about was, so I know a couple of teachers and a couple of people who, not just in New York City, but in other places. So like my cousin in Virginia, his mom is a teacher. He told me that those students are not coming to school. She's having to call parents and reassure them that, hey, like you can come to school, what have you. Up in New York, my girl, she lives in, she works around like 50th up there in Manhattan. And what if I told you that she told me yesterday, there's a class that's supposed to have 31 students in it. Now, granted, before the crisis or before ICE started cracking down, they never had 31 students in the class. But ever since Donald Trump got into office, she said there's been less than half of the students showing up to school. Ever since these ICE raids began, she said there's a visible difference between walking down the halls, going to lunch, walking in the schoolway. These children are not coming to school.
My name is Jeff.
So what kind of effect is that going to have on their education? They already suffer from COVID. Now, 3 or 4 years later, they're suffering from this.
Our policies have not changed. As always, non-local law enforcement is not permitted in any of our school buildings without a judicial warrant or unless there are exigent circumstances. We encourage all parents to have their students continue to attend school.
This is really, really devastating for the immigrant community and the folks who came here illegally. Now, I understand that you're supposed to follow the law and you're supposed to come here the right way, but this is starting to have really, really negative impacts. And my prayers and thoughts go out to them. I hope that they can land on their feet. I hope that they can get things together, get their papers together so they don't have to have their families ripped apart, so they're not missing out on education, they're not missing out on the workforce. So it's a very delicate situation, but teachers are scared, parents are scared, children are scared. And in this situation, you got to start to really think about, well, who's really winning? Are we doing this for pride? Are we doing this for ego? Are they really subtracting more than they're adding to society? That is a real question that I think needs to be measured and answered. Now, it is very interesting. You have people who haven't been here very long, who have very strong accents, and they're talking about, oh, these immigrants this, these immigrants that, and you don't even know their immigration status. It's just really interesting to hear people talk about one another when they probably were that person at some point in time. It's like, well, where's the empathy? Where is, they're thinking about the reason that these people made these decisions? Because if you decided to come illegally into another country, knowing the ramifications, knowing the risks associated with that, that means that things probably had to be pretty bad for you to take that leap and risk your family and risk your life to come over here. So I think a little bit of grace needs to be approached with every situation, but this is the United States of America and they don't believe in grace. And so my personal opinion on this is yes, I would look at this from a very objective point of view. I would look at this and say, hey, look, like, yes, this is illegal or what have you, but look at the crime rates. Are the crime rates versus the undocumented versus documented immigrants? What's the correlation there? What is, over the last 10 years, look at the immigration numbers and what have they contributed to society as far as their spending, as far as housing is concerned, as far as loans are concerned. Are they net contributing financially to society, and are they making their community safer or unsafer? Those are, I think, two really good qualifying factors you can take a look at. And even when it comes to ending the Dreamer program for children who were born in the United States, that's kind of something that the United States was built on. The very fabric, the very DNA is built on that. So maybe I'll make a separate video about that, but I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Please drop a like, comment, and let's get some discourse going in the comment section below, because I'm a non-immigrant. I don't have any family members that are immigrants, so I have no dog in this fight, but I would love to hear from you guys. I know a lot of you are first generation, second gen, and you have big opinions on this. So let me know. Do you want the ICE to come in and clean up the city? Do you want them to come and just deport everybody who's not an immigrant, even if you got family members, even if you yourself is an immigrant who's undocumented? Like, do you want that? Let me know what you think. So with that, that's going to be it. So I'm going to get out of here today. But let me know what you think, guys. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. We on the road to 500 subscribers. We almost there. So with that, peace.